Rome, a cross-country train, and a spy are all on this day. Welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is June 4th, 2021. It is the 155th day of the year. We got 210 days left in 2021. It is the 23rd Friday in the 23rd week and the 77th day of spring. 17 days left until summer. There are 62 days left until my cruise that was supposed to be in April of 2020. Yeah, we're all ready to go. We had things packed 2 days before the cruise. It was canceled. Today is International Day of Innocent Children Victims of Aggression. That's a long one, but it's important. The International Day of Innocent Children Victims of Aggression was proclaimed by the United Nations General Assembly on August 19, 1982. The observance recognizes the pain that many children suffer during times of war. The UN affirms that during wars, the most vulnerable of us are always the ones that suffer the most. The International Day of Innocent Children Victims of Aggression occurs yearly on June 4th. All right, let's see what else June 4th has given us. 1876, an express train called the Transcontinental Express arrives in San Francisco via the first transcontinental railroad only 83 hours and 39 minutes after leaving New York City. 1944, World War II. The United States Fifth Army captures Rome, although much of the German 14th Army is still able to withdraw to the north. So they pushed them out. They didn't really, kind of get rid of them, which was a bummer and created more problems for the Fifth Army, mainly later on in the war. 1944, World War II. A hunter-killer group of the United States Navy captures the German submarine U-505. Now, a hunter-killer group is just a group of naval ships that are designed to hunt down submarines. This was the first time a U.S. Navy vessel had captured an enemy vessel at sea since the 19th century. This U-boat was a very unlucky boat. She had the distinction of being the most heavily damaged U-boat to ever successfully return to port in World War II. That was only her fourth patrol. Later on, she became the only submarine in which a commanding officer took his own life during combat conditions. Following that, they had 6 botched patrols and eventually being captured on their 12th patrol. Now, this gets interesting. The hunter-killer group had caught up with 505 and one of the ships dropped depth charges on it. They saw oil come up, so they had obviously hit it. About 6 minutes later, the submarine surfaced, and the U.S. Navy could see that they were abandoning ship. So, of course, seeing this ship there, they hurried over to try and stop it from sinking because they're going to scuttle the ship, which means you just basically sink your ship so the other side doesn't get a hold of it. German submarines had valves that they would open that would just flood the ship and it would go down. Someone didn't open up all the valves, or they didn't work because the U.S. Navy actually got on there and they stopped it from being scuttled. The U.S. Navy decides to tow this thing to Bermuda. It took them 3 days, but they towed it all the way to Bermuda, and it was all under secret, and they didn't let anyone know they had it. They wanted the German Navy to think that this thing had been sunk, so they didn't have to worry about all their codes being, captured by the Allies. Now, the sailors, they took them to Louisiana, and they broke a few laws. The Geneva Convention says you get a visit from the Red Cross if you're a prisoner of war, and at the time, World War II, we all followed these rules. But not this time. They didn't want anyone to know that we had all these sailors. So they kept them under lock and key and hidden from everyone. It's a very secret operation. Because the longer the Germans thought that these sailors were dead, they didn't change their codes, which helped the Allies. If you want to see U-505, it is at the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago. It's on display. You can go by there and check it out. 1961, during the Cold War, in the Vienna summit, the Soviet premier sparks the Berlin crisis by threatening to sign a separate peace treaty with East Germany and ending the American, British, and French access to East Berlin, thus ending the existing four-power agreement. 1986, Jonathan Pollard pleads guilty to espionage for selling top-secret United States military intelligence to Israel. 1998, Terry Nichols, who is Timothy McVeigh's co-conspirator, is sentenced to life in prison for his role in the Oklahoma City bombing. Timothy McVeigh, of course, he waived all his appeals and was put to death some years back. He's all, I'm never getting out. I don't want to sit here forever. And let them hit his off button. Movies released on June 4th, 1993, Life with Mikey. This was a pretty good Michael J. Fox movie. He was a old child star, and now he's representing child stars as like their agent or whatever. It was a cute family movie. Born on June 4th, 1975, Russell Brand. I loved him in Forgetting Sarah Marshall. So funny, such a good movie, but he was in there and he was great. Died on June 4th, 2007, we lost Bill France Jr. He's an American businessman. He served as the CEO of NASCAR from 1972 to 2000. He died on June 4th, 2007 of lung cancer in Daytona Beach. Alright, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a productive day, and be nice to each other.